Yes, hello, good evening, and welcome to match day action here. This time we are away. It's Mount Pleasant FA TV. We are at the Tivoli ground here, Edward Siaga Sports Complex for the game. It's a rescheduled round 32 game. Cavaliers is the home team and going up against your Mount Pleasant. As we said, this is a rescheduled round of 32 game, and we await the FIFA anthem here on the two teams. So it's first place Mount Pleasant, 87 points, and they're going up against Cavalier. They are in fourth place on 63 points. Just a rescheduled game here. Mount Pleasant having already secured first place. Cavalier with a mathematical chance of getting that automatic second spot. Would need to win all their games. 3 games remaining for Cavalier. The same for Mount Pleasant. And 2 games remaining for the rest of the clubs, as we see the officials and the players making their way onto the pitch. Referee Daniel Parchment, the man in charge today. We are at Tivoli Gardens, Edward Siaga Sports Complex, as we wait now for the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the national anthem.
So some challenges there with the audio. So we're gonna go straight to the starting lineups here for Tivoli Gardens, for Cavaliers rather, at the Tivoli Complex. Cavaliers, the home team. Vino Bartlett, number 1 in goal. Christopher Ainsworth, number 11. Dwayne Allen, number 13. Dwayne Atkinson, number 10. Jalmaro Calvin, number 7. A. Gooden, number 30. Richard King, number 5, the captain. Leng, number 6. And McCleary, number 27. A. Reed, number 8. And J. Ritgers, number 25, as moment of silence for Cleon Price, who died in an accident. So that's it. Cleon Price, of course, former Portmore and Mount Pleasant player, died in a car accident just coming from a birthday celebration. So moment of silence there as we go to the starting team for the Mount Pleasant Academy, Football Academy. Number 1, Tafari Chambers retains his place in goal. 17, Jay Anglin. Number 33, Shaquille Dyer. Number 25, Raheem Edwards. Number 20, Jabari Howell, youngster there. Number 2, Gadale Irving. Number 31, Eliassi, the Haitian under 17 captain. Number 14, Mount Pleasant's captain, Sule McCullough. Number 3, Sean McFarlane. Number 6, Odean Pennycooke. And number 27, Shea Smith. So, Shamor Smith rather, not Shea Smith. Shea Smith is the Arnett Gardens man. But Shamor Smith coming over from Montego Bay United to join with your Mount Pleasant team here. And he's the man who is wearing number 27 and gets a start today as King. play that one forward. So not Shy Smith. Shy Smith, Arnott Gardens player, but Shamor Smith as McFarlane plays this one back to McCullough. Now it's with Pennycook. Really on his home turf. Pennycook, Tivoli man through and through. Came over from Tivoli to join Mount Pleasant and Cavalier. At many occasions use these western fields. There was a time when they played at Boys Town, just up the road. And the Tivoli Gardens here, windy complex, close to the sea. As you're getting the shot of the market in the background, Coronation Market there. So all the sights and scenes as the crowds sit on the wall. Customary look here at Tivoli Gardens for matches, and much more people when the home team is out. So the man Allen there getting the foot in but not able to keep it in play. So McFarlane will throw it forward, pushed off the ball there by the man Leng, and Parchment just signaling for the ball to go forward. So here is McCullough. Cross to Irving. Goes upfield to find Shamor Smith. Smith now back to Irving, who comes all the way back to Dyer. McCullough. Pennycook. Outside now to Emerson Liassi. As we said, the youngster here on debut, national under-17 captain for Haiti, and they qualified for the FIFA under-17 World Cup just recently. And ball now played across and chipped forward, now looks to be offside. And yes, so Atkinson in the offside position here. Ball is now played over to Irving. Irving would be a former Cavalier man and moves forward now, and Smith will take over back to Irving. Irving now wants to play forward but cut out there by, looks to be Calvin. And now it's taken on the chest by Howell. Booted inside, but Bartlett will take over here and boot it long upfield. So rescheduled game, this would be a round 32 match. We are already past round 37 for most teams. So just one game on the cards today, and that's the rescheduled fixture between 4th place Cavaliers 63 points and 1st place Mount Pleasant on 87 points. This one pushed through but squeezed out there. Ainsworth, and back now with McFarlane, who plays it for Anglin. Anglin can go to Dyer, does so now. Dyer turns, maybe he has to go long upfield, but cut out there by Allen, not giving him the opportunity to make that pass. So seeing some of the apartment buildings here at Tivoli Gardens, famous Jamaican community, and named after long-standing Member of Parliament, former Prime Minister of Jamaica, Most Honorable Edward Seaga, was the chairman of this club while being Member of Parliament, and could be seen on the bench for the games as Smith now comes through the middle, but going to be jostled off the ball here by Cavalier, and now it comes across to Allen, but McCullough will intercept. Both Dyer and McCullough now going over. McCullough at one stage was a part of the Cavalier setup as well in his younger days, as this one headed back inside. And so good intensity on the piece here, as ball now just shot there out of nothing, and easy there for Tafari Chambers. So Pennycook Play this one along the line for Smith, who comes inside, Howell rather. Now it comes to Leacy. So bouncing and twisting and turning all the time. Leacy now comes back to McCullough, who makes the outside pass to McFarlane. Comes all the way back to Dyer. Dyer now to go over the top, trying to spot the run of Edwards, who is going for his 6th goal in as many matches. And that one will be played out of touch there. And already back in play, Leacy now over to Edwards. Edwards being hounded by King. He boots it long upfield. Pennycook will head it back to Chambers, who is comfortable in position. And Pennycook with the space, now using up territory given to him. Now he comes to Smith. Smith inside. Till Smith back to Howell. Howell wants to cross it inside. Edwards can't control. First touch poor there. And Atkinson takes over for Cavalier. And Irving not buying what Atkinson was selling, so he wins out this time as he plays it now for Smith. Smith back to Irving. Irving chips it inside. Bartlett no problems. So 0-0 the score here. 6 minutes gone. It's first place Mount Pleasant traveling to play Tivoli, to play Cavalier. I keep saying Tivoli because we're at the Edward Seaga Sports Complex, but Cavaliers actually the home team today, so pardon the commentator for getting it mixed up. The venue is Tivoli Gardens, but the home team Cavalier. Cavalier in 4th place, 63 points, and they're playing against Mount Pleasant, who are in 1st place with 87 points. Want to get to the 90-point barrier, which would be a Premier League record. And this has been a season of records, clean sheets, consecutive wins, and continuing the tradition here of a record-breaking season. Headed out by Leng, back to McFarlane, who goes to Leacy. Leacy to Dyer. Dyer inside to McCullough. And now it's booted over the top. Diagonal ball trying to get Smith. Can't control. And here is Calvin. Plays it outside for Atkinson. Comes just hopeful ball really, but put it in the area that it needed to go. No Cavalier player to make a connection. Leacy now will cut inside and finds McCullough, who goes further wide to Irving. Irving to Smith. Good there, and Adrian Reed Jr. So Howell comes now and takes over. Still Howell inside to Anglin. Really haven't seen much of Anglin in the piece. So now he comes back to Pennycook, who goes all the way back to Chambers. So Mount Pleasant in blue here, wearing their home kit because Cavaliers' home color is white, so no need for their away strips today. And no goals yet in the piece as Smith now puts this one inside the box, controlled by Leacy but under some pressure and by the man Ainsworth, and he's forced all the way back. Pennycook now to Irving, comes as far as Dyer, comes again for the ball and now goes over the top, but Howell can't control there. And now Cavalier will go long, headed out by Pennycook. Pennycook now to Leacy, who goes back to McFarlane. McFarlane now crossfield pass to Pennycook. He goes now to Smith, who wants to run. And Goodness there does well. And now Reed Jr. will take over. Plays this one down the flank. Here is Dyer. Robbed off the ball there by Dwayne Atkinson. Atkinson now inside the box. What can we get here? Toe poke pass Chambers for 1-0. In the 10th minute of play. Carelessness there by Dyer was robbed of it by Atkinson, who took it all the way and just poked it past Chambers to the far corner to make it 1-0 for Cavaliers. We make it the 11th minute officially, 10th minute going into the 11th minute. Here it is now. Reed first with the pass. Dyer got there, controlled, but then tried to beat Atkinson. Didn't work. Went off the pitch. Atkinson was on his way and just slid it past Chambers for 1-0. And the home team take the lead here with what is the first shot of the game, really. And Mount Pleasant will have it to do here. Atkinson seems to be struggling with some sort of injury, but has already made his goal contribution, still being treated there off the field. So Cavaliers temporarily down to 10 players, and Dyer would want to take that back. Could have just cleared it really, but confident on the ball, overconfident might be, but tricky, speedy player like Atkinson needed not a second invitation to go forward, and from the looks of things could be his last taste of action in this game, and what a contribution that would be. He's struggling at the touchline there. Medical staff doing their best to get him up and running, but not sure how that will work. Pennycook now plays this inside as Smith now is pushed to the turf there by Gooden. And free kick to Cavaliers, who lead the contest here by a 1-0. A mistake by the defender, Dyer, picked and robbed of it by Atkinson, who just ran into the goal area and slid it past Chambers to give Cavaliers the 1-0 lead. As we approach 13 minutes here. So Calvin now plays it across, offside. So Reed drifted into the offside position there. As action continues. Headed out further by McFarlane, angling in a tussle with McCleary. McCleary does well, but can't get it past McCullough. Now Howell comes, the youngster, comes all the way across now to Irving. Irving will lay it off for Liassi, who has been switched to the next side. Tricky player here, comes through the mid now, play it for Smith. Smith comes back to McFarlane. McFarlane turns and inside to McCullough. McCullough now will find Smith, but couldn't keep it close with the control. And Ainsworth now inside. Ball now with McCleary. McCleary lays it off for goal scorer, who plays this one now, but Calvin couldn't make that final touch. And one of the leading scorers here in the league just needed a touch on that. Atkinson was searching for an assist there after his contribution, but if you just look at his demeanor, how he's upping, don't think he's going to continue with this game. Really struggling. This one shot inside to the far post, into the side netting. The youngster Howell So the first shot there for Mount Pleasant off target, and Jabari Howell there with that shot as King now goes over the top, headed out and now off the chest of McCullough, who is bounced off it, and McCleary now can come through the middle. Ball played down, good ball there for looks to be the man Rick Guz. Rick Guz now on the left side, chips it across, pushed away by Chambers, and can he keep it in play? Yes, he does. Here is Atkinson, turns and twists on that ankle again, and here comes the ball now inside to Howell. Howell will play across for Smith, still not controlling well here. Smith loses out to Ainsworth, and Rick Guz now will turn and look across to find Atkinson. Atkinson again just favoring, and now he makes the signal to be changed. He wants a substitution as Leassi now is darting up the right hand side and cut out again. This looks to be Leng and fouled, and I think we're gonna have a substitution now here in the 17th minute, and Atkinson, the man we did tell you at the point of scoring the goal that there was an injury, so Atkinson off and Justin Dunn on, so another Tivoli Gardens homeboy is on, Justin Dunn, and Dunn also a Tivoli Gardens man, so Pennycook and Dunn, former teammates right here, would be at a number of training sessions right here, both representing new clubs and playing against each other now. So headed out now, and looks to be with Howell being hounded all the time by the man King, and the referee awards the free kick. Here is ball outside now. Leassi plays it now forward, and it now is Irving, twists and turn but comes back, but ball went out of play. So we have it 17. Well, at the 17th minute, Atkinson went down. The substitution recorded in the 19th minute. So we're actually 22 minutes now in the piece, and Mount Pleasant trail by a goal to nil. Goal courtesy of Dwayne Atkinson in the 11th minute. He's been subbed off since, and Mount Pleasant trying to put on a professional display here, having already secured top spot. Lots of players rested for this game. Edward shoots, and that looks to be a corner kick. Last of Giovanni Leng, and trying to conjure up a response here. Mount Pleasant, after trailing by a goal to nil. Another shot or angle from around Tivoli Gardens. This is Kingston. As this one comes across, headed just wide. McCullough there, the captain. Rose Best, trademark header, but just wide. So warning shot there to Cavalier, and guess what? Cavalier would know well about those headers from McCullough, who scored 2 off the head in the JPL final, 23-24. As we see the Digicel building here. So McCullough actually scored, as we said in the final, not 23-24, but 22-23. Cavalier would have won 23-24, and we are in 24-25. So 22-23. McCullough with 2 bullet headers to hand Mount Pleasant the title, their maiden title, still their only title after coming in this league 2018. It's their second game on this field, having won 1-0 in 2018. Stats say Cardell Benbow was the goal scorer. As I recall it, Ronaldo Rodney was the man who scored on that day, but the statisticians have it for the winger. Now playing his trade for Portmore United. Here is ball played outside. There. So 24 minutes gone in the piece. This one rolled forward by Dyer. Didn't get to a teammate, but back with Mount Pleasant. Pennycook now will sweep it outside to Smith. Smith inside to McCullough, who plays this one for the run of McFarlane. McFarlane now plays it outside. Smith just ran into a wall of a man, Leng. Leng, the man who took the shirt from Messi in Cavaliers game against Inter Miami. So 1-0 the score here in favor of Cavalier. Dwayne Atkinson, the man getting the goal in the 11th minute off a defensive error. And Mount Pleasant trying to conjure up a response here as Irving now trots across. Anglin is there. And they started short. It's with Anglin now back to Irving. Irving now can line up a shot. It bounces up off Bartlett here, up in the air now. Scooped up in the air. Here is Pennycook! And the acrobatic stuff for the equalizer on his home turf. The Tivoli boy scores at Tivoli for Mount Pleasant. His first goal for the team here. And wasn't exactly a bicycle kick. Here's the shot. Bartlett couldn't hold on to it. Scuffed by Edwards. Came off the defender Gooden. And then the scissors kick there. Good technique. And that's a goal. A contender for the goal of the season as well. The defender there putting on the style to put Mount Pleasant level after conceding an 11th minute goal. So Edwards' eyes lit up. He went hard at it and it scooped in the air. Pennycook with the first attempt, it came off Gooden and rose up high for him to apply the acrobatics. And just like that, Mount Pleasant are back level after 25 minutes. So Pennycook, the man. So 1-1 now. Pennycook there doing the job for his new team on his old stamping ground. And chance goes a begging there. Cavalier players hold their heads as that looked to be a good chance. So Justin Dunn is on for the man Dwayne Atkinson, the goal scorer. Forced off with injury. And corner kick now, Ainsworth to take. Plays this one across. King tries to head it, but only comes as far as to Anglin. Anglin now twisting and turning. Referee spots the free kick. Edge of the D now. So it's 19 yards out here. And Gooden sets it down on the turf. King walks across. And Atkinson not there, so King seems to be the preferred choice. Rick Gaznow comes across, but King looks to be favorite. So here comes King. Will he go for goal? Will he put it across? Time will tell. Comes now, and that one will go over the top. So obvious that he was trying to pick out the far corner, but too much under it and high and over the top. No problem for Chambers as his string of clean sheets. Well, he did concede against Racing and then 2 consecutive 2-0 results over Arnett Gardens as Edwards and Howell, but Bearings off there. Edwards came, Bartlett was there, Edwards got there before him. King now and Bartlett and Young Gooden. Leng the man there actually in a confrontation there with his teammates, but it works out in the end for Mount Pleasant as we see the goat in the stands. That's a big ram goat in the stands here. Not sure if he's enjoying the game, but he's certainly in the stands. And here comes Anglin now coming through the middle of the field, plays it but cut out by Reed. Comes now to Leassi, who takes down the chest. Leassi now trying to twist and turn. Not the best of bounces for the field as you see the different patches, and that's how uneven the surface is here as McFarlane concedes the free kick. So heavy rotation here in the Mount Pleasant team. Not seeing Clifford Thomas. Cummings has been out for a prolonged period of time. Topi seems to have rehashed the injury. And here's Calvin now, twisting and turning Calvin, but Len sticks out the left boot and takes control. Calvin will foul him now. And free kick. So no Daniel Green. And this is just the starting team as we mentioned. No Bailey, no Thomas. Shaquan Davis being given a prolonged rest. Chambers has done well, to be fair. No Devante Campbell. As no Kyle Ming, former captain of Cavaliers. Chip straight to Bartlett, who rolls it out to King. Joey Johnson, we saw him against Arnett Gardens, not seen him today as well. No Excelos. So heavy rotation, and Mount Pleasant are wash with talent. Can afford to do rotations of this nature. Inside now to Allen. Goes to Justin Dunn, who slides it across for the run of Calvin, but Calvin couldn't get it off the left foot. And it chipped across now by Rickers and straight out of play. Rick Thursday. Surinamese. Jamio Rigters. This one now booted long upfield by King, headed by Dyer again. Len is there. Came up for the corner kick and remain, but bad pass. But how we might allow them to regroup. Now he comes to Leassi. Leassi outside to Anglin. Anglin now being under some pressure. Goes back to Leassi, who loses out to Rigters. Rigters now inside to Ainsworth, back to Rigters. Goes inside again. This time to Leng. Wanted to go to Ainsworth, but cut out by Mount Pleasant. Ball should go out of play here if Chambers obliges, but no, keeps it in play. And 1-1 the score here. 11-minute goal by Dwayne Atkinson. And spectacular response from Odean Pennycooke in the 25th minute on his home turf. Boyhood club. And comes across now with Dyer. Smith. Dyer. Here is Smith now inside. Can't shoot the block there. And Reed now would slide it inside for Dunn. Wants to go to Calvin, but Dyer was alert to the danger. Here comes Smith now inside. Howell. Back to Smith. Smith loses out there. And Cavalier now with a passing combination of their own. And outside for Dunn, who chips it inside, and Pennycook will just step in and take control there. Howell turns, comes across to Anglin, didn't control well, but hurriedly plays it out, and Cavalier will oblige with the throw. So it was formerly called Railway Oval because it's right beside the railroad, and trains would have been the mode of transport in the early days. So lots of history around this complex. Was out of commission for a while, and in the latter part of the season was approved for play by the powers that be. And normally a fortress here at the Railway Oval, now named rightfully so after the most honorable Edward Philip George Siaga, former Prime Minister of Jamaica, as this one now comes. And Chambers came into traffic and really fell hard, as Parchment now will ask for some medical attention for Chambers. So 1-1 the score here. In case you're just joining us, it's Mount Pleasant FA TV. Remember to like, subscribe, share, click the notification bell so that you can get notified when the content goes live. As we get a faint shot of the hills, Chambers now comes along. Smith couldn't make contact, headed out by Cavalier for another throw into Mount Pleasant. McFarlane now goes over the top. Edwards has really been subdued in this game thus far, but 1-1 the score here as we approach halftime. Edwards now still hustling. Ainsworth will boot it now further, but only as far as to McFarlane, trying to pull the knockback there and then fouling Allen in the process. Allen and McFarlane guilty there of infringement, as we see Siobhan Walsh getting warm. So they've been ushering him in to the team after a long layoff with injury. Saw him come on in the last 2 games and just giving him the minutes to get match ready. So just a concession from the coaching staff that he isn't fully fit and ready as yet, but will be soon. And a fit and ready Siobhan Walsh is a very dangerous customer. Here is Rigters coming down this left hand channel, still Rigters. Now he would put it inside, but cleared there by Mount Pleasant. corner. Allen, the man who goes across to do the job. As you see the young lady in the shot there, having a feel of a football game. Ball now played across. Heads go up. Len couldn't make contact. It comes back for a throw, which Allen will take quickly to King. Comes back. Actually, that was Reed Jr. And now he heads back to the middle of the field. So the ball is played now for the run of Leacy. There's Leacy. Just rubbing the touchline there, comes inside. And Edwards now will take over, want to line up a shot! And just wide of a target there. So nothing happening in the box. So he had to take it from range. All of 27 yards out. And that's the nature of this man. He's on 5 goals in 5 matches, 13 goals on the season. And oh, he would love to go 6 from 6 and make it 14. And that's an indication that he's really serious about that. Just out and out striker who loves to score goals. As Dyer heads out, plays out, and McCullough heads it on. So just something for the crowd before half time, as the game really just lulled out after both teams have scored. McCleary under some pressure from Anglin will boot it only as far as to Smith, who loses out to Ainsworth, who now goes long, headed on by Dunn. Here comes the man McCullough, goes wide to Leacy, pays up the line now for length to Irving to cross, and kicking and missing there Edwards. It's windy here at Tivoli, so maybe kicking at the breeze, and turned inside now and played forward for the run of Calvin, but nothing happening there. McCullough back to McFarlane. McFarlane now goes diagonal, trying to get Leacy. That's a good ball, you know, and Leacy ran out of real estate, but an excellent ball from McFarlane. Diagonal towards the corner flag, and looks to have won a corner here, the youngster. So good probing cross there. Still seeing Walsh going through the paces with the physical trainer, and corner kick here late in the first half. And not a good time to concede, but a perfect time to score, as Anglin lines up now to take this corner kick. Here it is, comes inside the box, headed out this time by Cavalier, headed on and foul. And can't be any longer now before we get to the halftime interval. But we tell you that the score here at the Edward Seaga Sports Complex, after 43 minutes, it's Cavalier, the home team, 1 and Mount Pleasant 1. First in Mount Pleasant, playing 4th place Cavaliers. Mount Pleasant on 87 points, Cavalier on 63 points, as Edwards now takes over for a rear 1v1 with defenders, cuts inside now, leaves it for Shamir Smith, and easy in the end for Bartlett. Was going wide nonetheless, as Edwards goes to ground. And referee Parchment just signaling for the bench to send out the medics. Take another shot of the crowd here. Faithful Mount Pleasant supporters inside Tivoli Gardens here to support their team, as Edwards takes a walk off. Maybe won't be back on, seeing that we are at the stroke of half time. And Bartlett, King, Reed, 5 minutes as Winters does well to turn inside, but he can't get it through Pennycook, so it ricochets off the defender. And 5 minutes to be played as free kick awarded now for the handball. So into stoppage time for the first half, and more goats have joined in their section of the stands. People have vacated and left space for the goats. Here is Leng. Still, Irving now comes inside to angling now, motors forward, just trying to free up himself for a shot, which he does now, but comes back off the white wall of Cavalier players. And there are 4 Cavalier players forward. This one sent into the direction of Justin Dunn. Dunn now cuts inside, but Dyer now pushed over and flopping all over the turf here. But ball comes ahead. Mount Pleasant still in possession. Edwards trying to come across to Smith, but was fouled in the process. And the fans just ensuring that that call was made by shouting to referee Parchment. So we've gone a minute and a half into the stoppages, 5 minutes of stoppages. So unofficially 3.5 minutes left to go in this first half, which saw 2 goals. Not much after that. Not the easiest game to call. Field bumping, not much patterns. Teams just navigating the conditions and trying to make it work, as Angling and Irving hold a small conference. Angling obviously seems to want to go for goal, and Parchment now gives him the go ahead. Say, young man, shoot at will. He does that now, and Bartlett didn't even look above his head because he knew that that one was not heading for the market, because the market is the opposite direction, maybe over by the complex here, housing development. So still about 2.5 minutes we have to play in this first half. The ball comes over the top, headed out by Dyer, and Dunn will step in now, comes to Allen. Allen plays this one inside for Calvin, but Calvin can't come between the Mount Pleasant defenders. And here is Ainsworth back outside, and headed out again. McCleary goes to the turf. Here comes Cavalier now on the far side, look to be Rigters. Be hounded all the time by captain. Well, that was Pennycook actually. And he turns, draws the foul, ball comes inside, and the referee now calls it back. Again, similar position to where they got the first free kick. 19 yards out, right on the edge of the D. And on the stroke of half time, they have a chance now, Cavalier, to go ahead once more in this fixture. They did score in the 11th minute, which was 1-0, but Mount Pleasant replied through Walsh in the 25th minute, and this effectively could be the last action of the game, as Rigters, the man with his left foot, who should be dropping this anywhere between the penalty spot and the back post. Let us see what will come of this here. Cross inside, too low, couldn't beat the first defender, as Dyer just slipping a lot in this game. Slipped on the loss of the ball to Atkinson, which caused the goal. Edwards, that looks like a poor pass, just lazy. Howell now, as Shamor Smith leaves Howell to stay on the turf. He's now pushed down by Leng, and ball now across. Cavaliers still here. The ball inside now to Justin Dunn, but Pennycook, his former Tivoli Gardens teammate, just applying some blue to that white shirt. So should be having the halftime whistle anytime now, as We have it 4 seconds left for this 5 minutes to elapse. Throwing taken now. Goes back to Leng. Leng comes outside to Ainsworth. Crosses McCullough, heads and whistle to mouth. Half time now. So not really an entertaining half, to be honest. And 1-1 the score. Pennycook in minute 11. Rather, Atkinson minute 11 for Cavalier. And the man Pennycook responded in 25 minutes with a goal there. As we come second half action. Nicholas Nelson on. Edwards out. So probably just started today for him to get his 6th goal in 6 matches. Didn't work out. So he's out. And number 12 now about to come on. Kivoni Bailey comes on for Sean McFarlane. And just a little toss up between him and the man Irving. Have been used interchangeably at fullback, so was telling Irving to go to the right side. Irving said, no, I am sticking with the side I started, and you go to the right side. Hoyle now comes to. So Watson is on for Gooden and can't control there. So Nicholas Nelson came in for Edwards. Here he's on the ball now. And of course, McFarlane was replaced by Kimoni Bailey. And yellow card first of the game. And looks to have gone to the captain here. As Mount Pleasant not sure who received the yellow card there for the foul on McCullough, but it's now with Irving. McCullough again. Chips this one long. And fans, as we said, not much in it to call. Just regulation stuff as we see the throw awarded here. So 1 minute elapsed here in the second half as Watson, the substitute, plays that one inside. Leng heads it back to Bartlett. And it's Cavalier versus Mount Pleasant here at the Edward Seaga Sports Complex in Kingston, Tivoli Gardens to be exact. And 1-1 the score here. Dwayne Atkinson opening the scoring for the home team. And Odean Pennycooke with the reply for the visitors. So first Mount Pleasant playing 4th place Cavalier. Live table 88 points for Mount Pleasant. 64 points for Cavalier if things stand. So free kick. 20 yards. 19.5 yards from goal. As Irving is there, Anglin is there. Irving now takes 5 or 6 steps back. Looks to be the favorite. Chips this one across towards the back post. And Pennycook was coming there for his second of the game. Must have scored quite a few goals in training on this very turf, but couldn't get the goal there as King comes outside to Watson. Comes all the way down the line for what looks to be, as the yellow card is shown, to Gaddy Irving. And just inside the commentary, the the bench there, so it's obscuring vision. And Calvin, the man, all the way back and feeling the pinch of that challenge from Irving, and the yellow card, the verdict here.
Caution issued to Unpleasant number 2. Got a
Here is
Irvin in the 49th
Injured.
minute.
That is on a field, but wayward in the end. Ball played outside now with Smith. Two Mount Pleasant players tackling each other here, and not sure what's going to happen here, because from our vantage point it looks to be two Mount Pleasant players colliding with each other. The Cavalier team rushing in to adjudicate, but the referee now will call the medical staff, and we'll see where he goes with the call after this. So McCullough to take his free kick as it's booted now upfield, and Bartlett just steps back inside now, but King trying to shield. Is it a corner kick? Yes. So Anglin will go across to get his corner kick. Pennycook arriving, wants to get his second goal of the game, as Devante Campbell and Angelo Exelos get ready on the bench. Two diminutive players, but full of speed and trickery there as the hands blare. Anglin now plays this one inside the left foot, headed out. Two white shirts there to meet it, and Bailey couldn't keep it in play as Dyer comes across but loses out here. Looks to be to Calvin, who knocks it across. So Pennycook. McCullough. Angle. Back inside to Powell. Turns well. The youngster. Irving. Across to Nicholas Nelson. And same spot there that Calvin got hurt or tackled, as Watson now hurls it forward, further forward now with Winters. Winters being hounded there by Dyer, then held out by Gadiel Irving. So Watson again headed out. Let's go up again. McClear left it. Thought the player called, but didn't end up with a Cavalier player, as Liasino is just darting through the midfield and all over him there. Could have been a yellow card. Referee keeps the card in his pocket as Bailey comes forward with bad pass. Len will step forward now, chips it wide and gives it away as well. Not sure who he's remonstrating with. It's a bad pass, Dunn couldn't get there, and now it's with Dyer. He comes across to Pennycook. Ball to Dyer. Dyer moves the ball forward. Bailey comes, collects. Dyer gives it away. Not his best game here. Shaquille Dyer caught in possession for the first goal. Not sure if the conditions and the field, not sure, but a permanent fixture for the early part of the season was rotated out, maybe for rest, and just not his best game. But very important cog in the wheel here for the Mount Pleasant faithful, as ball is now with Pennycook. Cavalier come forward now to Ainsworth. Crosses, but nobody to connect. So 18 minutes here gone in the second half as Dyer now comes forward. Yes. Back to Dyer. Under some pressure from Dunn, so it goes wide to Pennycook. Pennycook will go long. Headed back to Bailey, who goes to Smith. Smith comes across. Can't get Leacy going. So it's back with Cavaliers to Calvin. Calvin loses out now. And inside with McCallum. Calvin goes back to work and does well to pick the ball off McCallum. McCallum working now to get back the ball here. Coming through the center looks to be Richter's, but dispossessed as well. So, folks, as you see on the screen, not the best of games, not the most fluent of games. Lots of factors, two ball playing teams here. So obviously the surface plays a big role in what's happening here. And of course, the motivation levels as well. Mount Pleasant goes through the motions as it's with Calvin now, but maybe that last touch too much. Dyer got an opportunity to recover and comes to Chambers, who has some time to go across to Pennycook, who has acres of space, goes to Kivoni Bailey. Bailey now will chip this one forward, so still forcing the issue here, Mount Pleasant, and not really an attractive one today. As he left that one, Dyer. Dunn was the recipient and that one over the top. So Dyer again just seems to be struggling. Not necessarily physically, but just not having a good game here. And normally assured defender just all over the shop today. Inside now, Cavalier, Angling. Bailey, Smith. Inside, headed out. Now Angling. Cut out now by Cavalier and played forward. Dyer again. Heads. This time gets the better of his opponent. Bailey inside to Pennycook. Not a good ball. Here is Dunn. Calvin rather chips it forward, but goalkeeper will come. So Calvin, the man who drifted wide here. And Kimoni Bailey now with some space and time puts inside to Howell. Howell now plays it further across to his academy schoolmate Leacy. Leacy chips it over now for Irvin. Irvin now will play it inside the box, but headed out by Leng, and Angling kicks and misses. And Richter's now Dwayne Allen, the man actually who was fighting for it there in the middle of the field. For some reason we thought Allen was off, but learned in the end that Gooden was the man who actually was replaced by the man Watson. As Dyer now comes across the field to Leacy. Still Leacy now wants to take on Watson. Watson leaves something on him. And free kick to Mount Pleasant here. That one dragged wide as we see an altercation here. So just some altercation here. Police there gets involved and just take away from the action. Looks to let's get back to the action on the field as our cameras just caught up, and now those on the field trying to get in some argy-bargy as well. But the police officers are here, so they should be able to diffuse whatever is happening there. Walsh, Exilus, Campbell among the substitutes warming up there as we continue the action with 20 minutes gone. So 65 minutes gone here. That would make 25 minutes to play. And 1-1 the score here. Tivoli Gardens Complex, now named the Edward Seaga Sports Complex, as Irving now comes to Lacey but cut out by Watson. And Watson now, that came off the hand of Irving. So free kick to Cavalier. As King now plays this one long upfield, headed to Lacey. Lacey now inside, finds angling. Angling dribbles across to Smith. Smith now will play this one further forward for the run of Smith. Can he get there? Yes. Wants to cross one time and wins a corner kick for his team. So 21 minutes gone in the second half here. Mount Pleasant probing. Not intense the game, not exciting the game, not cagey either, but just more like the teams going through the motions here at the Edward Seaga Sports Complex. And this one comes across. Pennycook this time seems to have made contact with the head of the player, not the ball. And McCleary looks to be the player who comes out the worst. And the referee will continue. Here is Bartlett. So now he boots it long upfield. McCleary off the chest back to his teammate Dunn. Calvin now wants to throw it inside quickly. Now he leaves it for Watson. So 23 minutes gone here in second half action. 1-1 the score. That's really all we can report on. Nothing much else to tell you. It's just been one of those games, as this could be a corner kick for Cavalier. It is. And King tracks forward. Leng also taking a casual stroll. Not in the box as yet, Leng, and now he comes inside. McCleary, Howell chip forward, and Nelson just barged into by Watson. And referee now obliges. Just barges into Nelson really and stop play as we have substitutions to be made now. So Devante Campbell and Angelo Exelos. Referee didn't spot the substitutions, maybe not ready as yet. So play continues. Smith might be one of those coming out. Probably might see Smith and Leacy leaving the field for Campbell and Exelos, but we will see as Calvin now tries to turn but can't get any change out of Gadiel Irving there. And I think we're ready for the substitutions now. So Parchment still not looking to the bench. And now the stoppage. And we should be. So Smith, yes, walks off. And expecting Leacy to be the next one. So Exelos is on for Smith and Leacy. Devante Campbell will replace Leacy. So like for like, two wingers just replaced by two wingers. And speed replaced by more speed as this one now played across headed, but booted long upfield now, comes back inside to Allen, slides it across. Reed goes further wide, and this one now played wayward and out from Richter's. So Smith, the man who was just substituted, makes his way to the bench. And we are with Pennycook now, as ball now played across for Exelos to get his first touch, but didn't quite materialize here. So
player number 27, Shamoy Bill, been replaced by player number 9, Angelo Exelos.
here's ball now. Exelos now Bailey plays it inside.
Replaced by player number 7.
Stop there by Cavalier. Watson now can make a run,
Substitution 67
but
minute.
Anglin recovered, and Calvin now fighting out for all his dear life. Still does well to get it inside. Rose this one inside the box. Done with the try. Attempted the shot there, but defenders had a good enough presence to thwart any serious threat on goal. As Devante Campbell now with his first touches of the football takes the return pass from McCullough. Here is Campbell again. Campbell plays it inside. Gets the return pass. Can he go down the left side? No. King will just take over here, and Calvin can't make the connection and comes inside now to Anglin. So Anglin can go to Bailey, but comes right side and gives the ball away really. So it's been the story of the game really. Lots of poor decisions, bad passes, interception, unforced errors really characterize the game. Intensity not good. McCleary now plays this one inside. Looks to be Richter's double team, go to the turf, and Dyer calmly just rolls it out for Angelo Exelos for his first real touch of the game. McCullough now gets it inside. Somebody's going to the turf there. Not sure if it's Anglin. Yes, it is. And Bailey now will just roll this ball outside, but before it could, referee stops play. So spectators trying to keep the goat off the stand. And the goat seems to be quite intimidating here. No one wants to play with the goat. And maybe more exciting than what we have been seeing here today, to be honest. Just spectators trying to fend off the goat, really, as we approach 70 minutes here in the contest at the Edward Seaga Sports Complex in Tivoli Gardens, downtown Kingston, Jamaica. As you see on the screen, the score 1-1. Cavaliers scoring in the 11th minute. Dwayne Atkinson is no longer on the pitch. And by the way, Kyle Harvey just made his way onto the field. Guess what? He's a former Mount Pleasant man. Came from Trinidad to Mount Pleasant. And now at Cavalier, Kyle Harvey. And we'll tell you who we replace in a second. As Bailey trying to keep possession of the ball there and fouled. Double teamed actually. So
Cavalier team, so player number 9, Kylie Aubrey, replacing player number 17, Justin.
So
And in the 71st minute, Mount Pleasant, number 8, Siobhan Walsh, replaced number 17, Jashawn Ankley.
So you just heard it there from the match announcer. Harvey came in for Justin Dunn, who was on as a substitute at the 11th minute. So he is substituted, and Anglin came off, and Siobhan Walsh for the final 20 minutes of the game has been introduced, as this one is chipped forward and headed out by Cavalier. Comes as far as to Makala. Howell comes across to Irving. Irving now to Devante Campbell. Here is Campbell now, just fainting his way there. Harvey barging and wins the throw for his team. Yes. 32 minutes elapsed here in the second half. And ball headed forward now. King to Len. Len outside to Watson. Watson trying to get Kyle Harvey going, but only comes to Irving. Foul again. So no team being allowed to play. The field doesn't allow it, and the opponents either. Yes, Pennycook fancies. And next one as he heads it wide. Headed back inside by Nicholas Nelson. And the first minute or first moment of excitement for us here in the second half. Pennycook again seems to be at the center of everything. Attack. Scored the only goal for Mount Pleasant. Almost got an assist there. And now looks to be going into the referee's book, is he? So the referee will keep the card, so his name will only appear for the goal, but should be careful. The man, Odean Pennycooke, playing here at home. So Ainsworth now plays this one inside, and Chambers will call it no problem. Ball now played across to Bailey. Bailey inside to Makala. Makala comes across to Howell. Howell outside to Irving. Irving will come back to Devante Campbell. Campbell back to Irving. Campbell again plays it back to Dyer. Dyer now goes across to Pennycook. Pennycook Please, this one comes as far as Nicholas Nelson turns inside the box now. Danger could be there. Can he get the ball across? No. So good defending, good recovery defending there by Cavaliers. And getting closer and closer to the end of this game, which is seeming to be petering out to a draw. Not seeing anything of the two teams to be convinced that we could get more goals here, but this is Cavalier versus Mount Pleasant. Anything is possible, and even to the last minute, anything can be expected of these two teams. So we press on with them in this game, as Howell now leaves it for McCullough, comes across, and we'll see Devante Campbell, but opts to go to the right side, comes through the middle now. Now it comes back to Dyer, who has been switched over to the right side, just interchanging with Pennycook. Pennycook now leaves it for Bailey, who will play this one inside to Walsh. Walsh back to Irving, but nothing happening there. So Bailey will come back to Pennycook. Pennycook to Chambers. Chambers now to Dyer. So here is Ladale Irving back to McCullough. McCullough now to Howell. Howell across to Exelos. Exelos back to Howell. And now Dyer. So just knocking it around, just comfortable spaces, no high percentage passes as Pennycook now advance and now plays this one across, but Walsh takes on the chest but can't get the shot off. Exelos will recover, plays it to Howell. Howell comes to Bailey. Bailey cuts, twists, turns, comes back to McCullough. McCullough now chips it over the top for the run of Campbell, but wayward pass in the end there. As we can report to you that the game is tied at 1-1. Both goals came in the first half as Exelos now controls well and plays it forward, but couldn't connect with Walsh. Walsh was there but couldn't get the, and now this looks to be Calvin, who skips past Dyer. Dyer now recovers, comes inside, plays it across. Offering the shortest man, rises highest. But his header also went very high. Couldn't threaten goalkeeper Chambers here. 27 minutes. As played forward now to Walsh, who chips it one time and they are peeling there. Nicholas Nelson just with a hand up, peeling for something. Dispossessed Harvey by McCullough, who makes a return inside the back. Can he get a shot off? That's a good save by Bartlett. That's a good save by Bartlett. First save he has had to make all game. McCullough from the midfield made the run, came for the return pass, forced the save out of Bartlett to keep the score here level. One apiece. Good save there by the Cavalier goalkeeper. As ball now played across. And being hounded all the time there by Dyer. And still a throw in to Cavaliers. Substitution to be made again. So let's see what's happening here. So ball played across and Chambers collects and rolls it out for Irving, who comes inside to Nicholas Nelson. Nelson now goes further wide to Angelo Exlos. Exlos now wants to take him a 1v1. Can't cut between the two players there. Loses out in the end. And the ball booted out now. So here comes the 75th minute. So we have just about 15 minutes left in the piece. And 1-1 the score here. Mount Pleasant in blue. Live table 88 points, playing Cavalier, the home team, who would be on 64 points on the live table. Both teams came into the game first position, Mount Pleasant with 87 points and Cavalier with 63 points. Cavalier can mathematically get the next automatic qualifying spot if they manage to win their next 3 games. Not winning now, but lots of time left. Mount Pleasant really playing for nothing. Some fringe players, rotation players in the squad, just a blend of the regular team, and some players, Walter is being ushered back into competitive football. So a mix of different plots, subplots in this overall story that's called Mount Pleasant. You're watching Mount Pleasant FA TV. Make sure that you have subscribed to the channel, like, share. McCullough now with a force a good save out of Bartlett. Normally the man who comes up with the goods when things seem to be hopeless. Cavalier know all too well about that, as he just throws that one over the head of Calvin. Calvin fouled him in the process. Call that one a pile. Sometimes in Jamaica they say you got a trim, because the ball went over your head. And McCullough, after getting the rebound off foul here, Shaquille Dyer now plays this one through the channel for Bailey to race, and couldn't keep it in play, as double substitution to be made again by Cavalier. So let's see, number 19 is in, and out is number 25, Rigters. So Rigters out, and let's give you the name of the substitute before the match announcer does so. So number 19 is C. James, who comes on for the man Rigters. Chad James, Devante Campbell with a shot there, but couldn't pass the defender. 87 minutes, that's the unofficial time. So
replaced by player number 19, Chad James.
just about 3 minutes, plus any stoppages left in the piece here. Pennycook heads this one forward. 1-1 the score. Cavalier versus Mount Pleasant at the Edward Seaga Sports Complex, aka Railway Oval, Tivoli Gardens here. Shot to the extreme right of your screen of Coronation Market, as this one now booted long. So Walsh now gets between the defender there, recovers, and Walsh would not be the favorite there, considering that he was in the goalkeeper's area. So action resumes. Bartlett now long upfield again, headed out. headed again to the side, and not where King wanted it to go. Apologizes as Bailey flings it inside, and Exodus now over on this right hand side. Actually, Devontae Campbell will switch to the right hand side, and ball now called back by the referee, and corner kick the verdict. So you suspect that any goal here would be the winner of the game, with just about, well, we have it at 6 minutes. The announcer did say 87 minutes at the substitution. So on the stroke of full time here as King heads it out, Exodus rolls it back to Bailey, but that one comes straight off Allen, and handball after remonstrating here. Really put his laces through that, but Allen took evasive action, and free kick. (20 yards). And Irving has scored some since season. Nicholas Nelson also. So here is Nelson, runs over the ball now. Irving, and they came off the wall there. So corner kick. So we've seen more goal mouth action here in the last or the final phases of the game than we have seen all game really. And can Mount Pleasant snatch something late here as Devontae Campbell comes across to take this corner kick. So here is Campbell. Ball comes inside, and Bartlett does well just to reach and grab and bowls this out long enough for Cavalier to have a counter of their own. Here is Allen. Allen now plays it across for Kyle Avery. Avery does well to hold up the ball, comes back to Allen. Allen inside to Chad James, who just came onto the pitch. James now will come across to his teammate here, Calvin. Calvin plays it, comes off player, and Pennycook just ushers him out there. So here comes the throwing. So Chad James, foul again. Referee parchment. So Cavaliers time to attack. Last foray here, and can the home team on the day snatch a victory late here? All these balls are dangerous balls at a critical time in the game, such as this, as James lines up now to take almost a corner kick, chips this one inside, headed out, headed again. Here comes the ball inside, and Chambers pulls this one out, trying to get Exodus going, but Cavalier will boot it back upfield. So, as we indicated to you, the official, the match announcers, here is Calvin now going further forward. Calvin now with Dyer for company. Calvin now pushed off the ball there. Is this a penalty? Yes, says Daniel Parchment. Calvin moved to the side of Dyer. Dyer just put out the hand there and pushed him to the turf. And Daniel Parchment says that's a penalty. Dyer's not had the best of games. Probably could have just ushered it out. But put the hand on him, did he? Yes. And penalty on the stroke of full time. And Richard King, the captain, Ainsworth normally the man on penalty duties, but Richard King, the captain, steps up now to take and give Cavalier what would be a winner here, as King now steers down the barrel, goes to the right of Chambers, who went left for 2-1 here on the stroke of full time. And regulation penalty there. No chance for the goalkeeper. He was already going the next way. And Captain King scores what could be the winner here in the dying moments. Does Mount Pleasant have enough time to get another equalizer in this game? We have it 1 minute left to play, contrary to what the match announcer had said. So we did doubt our timing for a moment, but vindicated now by the clock as we approach full time here. So Richard King giving Cavalier a 2-1 lead. And here is ball now inside. Match announcer has it 90+5 as we see Exodus now down this side trying to cross the ball inside, but Bartlett will gather. Was that the last bit of action? 6 minutes would have been stoppage time here. Was that the last bit of action in this game? As Bartlett now takes as much time he can shave off the clock, boots it long upfield now, and yes it was, as referee Parchment signals the end. And Cavalier, although at home, has snatched a 2-1 win in what has been an ordinary game really. Dyer conceding the penalty late in a forgettable game for the normally reliable defender. And 2-1, Mount Pleasant lose here. Dwayne Atkinson and Richard King, 11th minute and 90+5. As we see the highlights here, Atkinson, who was on the field, got us started. The pass being made now by Reed. Dyer just being cheeky there and lost out to Atkinson. Burst of pace. Chambers came and he just rolled it in the back of the net for 1-0. That would be his last meaningful action. Look out now for some acrobatic stuff. Irving tried, Howell tried, and the second attempt with the scissor kick, the home boy knocked it into the net for 1-1, and then King sealed the deal from the penalty spot, just slapping it past Chambers. And as you heard in the effects microphone, them lose the 1 here, and that's what's happened here at the Edward Seaga Sports Complex. Coach Whitmore with the interview.
Here at the Edward Seaga Sports Complex against Cavaliers, you must be a disappointed coach.
Why should I be disappointed? I'm pleased with the team performance this afternoon. If you look on the goal that would have conceded this afternoon, but I'm very pleased with the team performance this afternoon. Probably not the result, but I think what we set out to achieve this afternoon, the rotation of the players, the rotation of the squad, I'm pleased with what I've seen this afternoon.
Let's speak about the goal scorer of Mount Pleasant today. Odean Pennycooke has been fringes throughout the season, but he got his opportunity today and he took it quite well.
Well, yes, not only Pennycook. We are down to the back end of the season now, so everybody wants to be in the final, so they have to just come out here and show what they have.
You talk about we can't make mention of young Jabari Howell. His performance has been really good when he get the opportunity to play. How pleased are you about it?
As I said before, I'm pleased with some aspect of the team this afternoon, but not the result, as I said before. But I think we put in a decent shift. It kind of hard at this point in time to really motivate the players, knowing that you're sitting on top of the league with few games to go. So as I said before, they came out there and they play.
As the semi-final is on the horizon, what will be the approach going forward as a team mentality?
Well, again, as I said before, we have 2 games to go, and after those 2 games, then we start planning for the semi-final.
Are you seeing your best 11 as it?
Well, if we are at this point of the season, we can't find 11, then it made no sense. Now we are top of the league. Why we are here? It must be something.
All right, coach. I'll let you go.
1 minute. Old rival Cavaliers and even Stevens after the 3-game based on result. Tell us about it.
Well, again, we don't talk about rivalry. We treat every game the same. So whether Mobile, Cavalier, Hornet, every game we treat it the same.
So a victory both for you and a draw. Even Stevens going into the serious part of the business.
Well, again, if you say it.
Serious business.
Yeah, man.
Big up yourself.
All right.
Coach, a few points here at the Edward Siaga Sports Complex against the High Riding Mount Pleasant. How are you feeling about that match?
No, as I say, I'm not into the feelings thing at this point in time. I'm looking for the structure of my team, what we do good, what we do bad. I thought we could have done better in some respect, like the goal that we conceded. That was just a schoolboy goal to concede. So those are the things that we're looking at and working out those things as we go on, to the playoffs.
An early goal in this game kind of set the momentum for the end result for this game. You must be pleased.
Yeah, but it's not anything that we don't expect. Today we had a plan how to play them. It worked. The truth is, nobody can plan for doing Atkinson. I mean, I've not seen a team yet, so we expect him to do something special all the time, and he did. The other person who is always giving a lot of problems to the team is Jalmar Calvin. I mean, he was tired, but I kept him on because I always thought that he would, make something happen, and he did it at the end.
An early injury to Atkinson forced him off the field. Is it something serious?
I don't know as yet. We're going to check it out, but he stepped in a hole, so his ankle twist. So that's what happened to him.
Another player who had acquitted himself in this game is young Giovanni Leng, who has been consistent. One of your star players for this season, hence his performance. How is he getting back to his original self?
Leng is remember he made the All-Caribbean team. Leng made the national team earlier in the year. Leng is a good player. It's just that, with King there, people tend to overlook him, but he's different from King. But Leng is a really good player, and he's one of the better players that we have.
Christopher Ainsworth had a very difficult task against the wingers that you have faced against Mount Pleasant. He too came up transfer you today.
That's a player that I've played over 115 games. That's not although he's 19, that's a veteran player. He's calm, composed, played for national team twice too. So that again is a really good player, and we expect no less from him in his performances.
As you head into your last 2 games, you play Mobe and Sunday. What's the mindset?
Positive results all the way. This is no time to get negative results because we're going into the playoffs. So the mindset is always to get a positive results, don't matter who is on the pitch playing.
All right, Coach.
And a good measuring stick over the 3 games regarding this team. They defeated the ones who defeated them and 1 draw. A good measuring stick regarding over the 3 games regarding this Mount Pleasant team.
No, they could have won the 3 games in the preliminary round. I'm only concerned with winning the one that is important. So at this time, as I said, we're just looking for structures, looking for things that we could exploit. We saw some, and we've made adjustments. So that's where we are at this moment.